But our guy Josh actually has some, which he's going to give to you guys. Hasn't been put anywhere else out yet. So we're breaking news today. I'm Chris Spags, joined by my old pal, who I haven't seen in a while, one of these, Mr. Josh Engelman. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Reunited. Feels so good. Yeah, Darren Collison is doubtful right now, per the NBA injury report that came out at 5:30. So if you're paying attention to Darren Collison and Pacers news, it's on the NBA injury report. Best we could look at right now. So if you've got him in, get him out.
Yeah, so there you go. So how does that affect things for you? I'm assuming that makes it a bit more of a Corey Joseph situation for you.
I'll be honest, I haven't typed anything in. I saw that and got the rest of this show ready and then stopped moving. So that is, I guess, our first piece of business to handle. Collison, I mean, he wasn't even like the worst play in the world today. So that's opening up a bunch of weird opportunities. Corey Joseph is clearly going to see at least a couple extra minutes. He's been better when Tyreek hasn't played. I don't know how much it's going to matter with Collison out. Collison doesn't tend to miss all that often, so it's probably just like the rest of the Pacers garbage guys soaking up most of the minutes. But it's something that we have to pay attention to. At least I don't like playing Corey Joseph, so I'm hoping that I can just figure something else out.
Yeah, I'm checking the NBA WoW now. Hopefully it's not doing the usual thing where it lags up in the last minute.
It is fantastic now. Matt and the rest of the guys at Add More Funds have done a fantastic job on their most recent update.
Oh, really? Okay, good. Yeah, that did load very fast. That's always been my issue with since the site moved. I feel like it really lags up in that last hour, but that was the smoothest.
They've got a lot planned. I am one of their patrons right now, so I'm trying to. I'm going to try to give as many little tidbits and thoughts as I can. In hindsight, I wish we would have just bought it.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about this. I talked about this with Tom at one point, and he was like, it'd be really easy to make an NBA WoWie. And I was like, that'd be great. But we didn't do it. So it would have been nice to have the actual one. Also, people in the chat asking, where's Eddie? Eddie is celebrating his love with his beautiful wife, Robin. So they are out doing anniversary stuff. It's their anniversary. So that's where he is. So that's why. So don't be a jerk about no Eddie. He's got to take care of the lovely wife.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
We have the B team tonight. MJK. I'm not
the original A team, bitch. We're the original A team.
Fucking team.
I am the team, pal.
That's true. Josh was doing this solo before even I was doing it.
But yeah, we're the original A team.
Yeah. If you're on Osmo.com's YouTube channel, you are seeing the core group of what started these live before lock shows, and us and Tim Quarterman, a trio of NBA.
Yeah, I assume you and I were the first people to do it together. Or I would guess that you and I did NBA and then baseball started, right?
Yeah, it was like you and Jake doing baseball stuff initially, and me and you doing NBA.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's see. Looking at the chat, see if there's anything good. Let's talk about ownership. So we got no Boban Marjanovic. No Boban starting, rather.
Correct.
So he is now going to be a chalk play. Now not going to be a chalk play. I don't think we've had an ownership update yet, or we did just before we came on. Ooh, I didn't update that.
22.
There we go.
Does Aaron Holiday really play 22 minutes?
Josh. Darren Collison, doubtful.
There you go.
Ooh, that was. You know what? If you had gotten that wrong somehow, I don't know how you would have. You checked your sources 5 times over, but you got that. You got that before everybody. That's impressive. That's a feather in your cap.
I check the NBA injury report at 5:30 every night when it comes out, or every day. Like it's just like clockwork. 1:30. There's a 1 o'clock, a 5:30, and an 8, and I check them all.
Yeah, always. We're breaking news, man.
Yeah. So I assume Aaron Holiday's just gonna play like a shit ton of minutes. Does that
never happens?
I don't know who else they go to. Maybe Dougie McBuckets gets a couple extra.
Yeah, I feel like Holiday hasn't played over 20 like this year, because I know that because I was like I've had a couple times where I'd be like, Aaron Holiday be great here. I think he's gonna get some more run.
That's that's because Darren Collison and Corey Joseph don't ever miss.
True.
I don't really know what I want to do here.
His max has been 24 on the year.
Yeah, I'm slowly but surely like chipping away at his minutes.
He's a good per minute guy. I don't hate that play, especially versus the Clippers at the minimum. It's not bad.
No. Let's give him 19.
I've been a big Alex Caruso guy all day today.
You should
Also,
stop doing
have
that.
you talked about on the strategy show how people keep mentioning it, and I don't know if it counts as mean or not because I think Alex Caruso, perhaps not regarded as the a movie star, matinee star kind of good looks.
That he looks
People
like
say
our
you look
namesake?
like Alex.
Yeah, he does. They posted the picture in Slack like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. They look similar.
Yeah, there's something in the face. Like I think our Alex looks like he's been put together. Like he's done well for himself within his career. I think he's like the refined Alex Caruso, whereas Alex Caruso, the basketball player, he just looks like he just rolled out of bed from the G League and just started chucking up shots every single time he touches the ball.
I get this a lot with Brad Pitt, so I'm very familiar with it.
I'm always reluctant to give like the insulting comparisons out because I don't like when we get insulting ones. But one time actually on the contrary, somebody compared Evan Silva to Ned Beatty, and I thought they meant Warren Beatty. And Ned Beatty is a much less attractive man.
Didn't Warren
I
Beatty
messed
have
up
a
that.
huge donger?
He does. He is a noteworthy ladies man.
Oh, that's
And
Ned Beatty.
yeah, Ned Beatty, not a good looking dude.
I'm sure he was fine in 1947 when he was our age.
No, wait. No, Ned Beatty is like the heavyset guy.
Yeah, he's
He's
like
deliberate.
90 years old or something stupid.
Oh, is he? Oh, I didn't realize he was that old. Good for him. He's aged well for a heavyset gentleman.
Yeah, he's alive. He's 81 years old. Got married in 1999 to someone. Good for you, Ned.
So
Anyway,
Ned
basketball.
All right, so I saw you talking in the premium Slack. We're talking a little bit around this game. Let's talk about the Bucks. What are you doing with the Bucks? How many Bucks are you loading up on? What are the ownership percentages you're willing to go to for these guys? Because you seemed like you were very team Buck, or at least team Bledsoe and team Miritich.
I'm team everybody now. Bledsoe a lot. Miritich a lot. Middleton a lot. I mean, I almost have Miritich in everything on FanDuel. At 5K, with having to start two small forwards, like I'm having a hard time getting away from Miritich with the craziness. On DK, I'm basically just a little bit over the field. I have bigger stands on Middleton and Bledsoe. But small forward on FanDuel is just such a shithole wasteland constantly that he's in. So when I resorted my lineups and selected my top 150, Nikola Mirotic was in 92% of those.
Okay, so that's a lot of Nikola Mirotic. But you're muting that a little, I would presume.
I am going to play 92% Nikola Mirotic.
So okay, all right. So you're playing that straight. So you couldn't. I assume you don't have anybody else higher owned
on FanDuel. No, and this is just because of the fact that you have to play two small forwards, and my alternatives are like picking out of a shit heap of like Redick and Barnes and Taurean Prince and Joe Harris and Daniel House. Like there's just nobody else there. So it's a lot of Kevin Durant and a lot of Mirotic. Otherwise, it's just you might as well double punt.
I think this would be an easier situation to avoid if Brogdon were in. I think now that we have Brogdon, he's been out, obviously. But that last game versus, I think it was Chicago when Giannis was out, like Bledsoe sucked, but Brogdon was okay. And like everybody was just kind of okay. I think Middleton might have been the best play out of the group. I feel like that was a spot where you can go, but there's you're now missing two starters who are, not terribly high or not terribly low usage guys. Brogdon not, shooting a ton, but he's certainly touching the ball enough. I think it's hard not to play the big three, the Bledsoe, Middleton, Mirotic group. Lopez, I'm not as into that.
Same. I don't have much Lopez at all.
Yeah, he's the only guy who takes a drop per minute without Giannis available. Giannis obviously passing the ball a lot more. I think he benefits quite a bit from Giannis attacking the rim and then dishing it back out. The other guys aren't as inclined to do that. Are you worried about Bledsoe at all?
In what way?
He's bombed in these kind of spots a few times where it seems like he should be good, especially against crappy teams. He really tends to phone it in, I've noticed.
Then the answer for me is no. I have a lot of Bledsoe. I'm way more worried about Middleton for what you're saying than Bledsoe.
See, but Middleton doesn't really vary that much. Like he doesn't have as high of a ceiling. Bledsoe has that crazy high ceiling, but I think he's got a much worse floor.
I feel like I fail on Middleton in this scenario a lot.
Last year it was better for Middleton.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But I think he's just more reliable game to game.
I don't disagree with you. This is totally just my personal experience card that I'm playing. in that anytime I feel like I'm heavy on Middleton, he doesn't exactly go out there and wow the world.
Yeah, that's fair. And he hasn't done that this year really at all. I mean, I remember last year it was like one of the first starts where Giannis missed and Middleton put up like a 70 fantasy point triple double. That has not occurred this year, but I think he's a perfectly good mid-range play. So you're the least high on Middleton out of that group then.
No, that's my problem. I have more Middleton on DraftKings than I do any other buck.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah,
because he's the most reliable, probably.
And I hate it, and it scares me.
Yeah, no, I don't see him having a bad day today. I feel like it's hard to imagine having a bad day, but I think you're more likely to see him have like a 37-point day, which you could have gotten a million different other spots.
Yeah. Looks like Corey Joseph is going to be a decent... Wait, I don't want Corey Joseph in for 31 minutes. That's unintentional. Okay, never mind. I was like, holy shit, that's going to be a lot of Kojo. Forgot the
So how many
typo.
minutes are you projecting for Corey Joseph?
I gave him 26 right now. I might have to go to 27 here. And then, I don't know, Edmund Sumner probably plays 7 minutes. Projections are updated for all of our premium subs.
Let's see. How many minutes did you have Corey Joseph in your last one? I use your minutes now, by the way, officially for everything. So
I told you, man, you're not going to get anybody updating that stuff better.
The only time you screwed me was last week with Mo Wagner. I was heavy on Mo Wagner when on that game where he ended up getting like 10 minutes. That hurt me.
So was I.
I had like 80% Mo Wagner that day. Did not work out well.
I did not. Well, that we shouldn't rely on the Lakers.
So Corey Joseph, so he's pretty cheap. So he is now a pretty good Caruso punt or pivot rather. Corey Joseph or Caruso, which would you go with?
Which site? Do I have to pick one?
Oh yeah, you do.
I mean, we're clearly talking about DraftKings. Alex Caruso is not in play on FanDuel. He's $5,400, and yeah. Well, we're not going to do that. Caruso or Corey Joseph? I would rather have Corey Joseph.
So we already had Corey Joseph projected for more ownership before that injury news came in. Caruso only 13, Corey Joseph before whatever updates we're going to get at 16. What? I think Caruso's pretty good leverage.
Are you looking at that correctly? Because I have Corey Joseph in here at 1%.
Whatever the update was that came through on ownership at 5:55 Eastern is the one.
Well, that'll do it. Apparently, our bosses also saw the news on Darren Collison and made that update. I don't have the updated ownership in here.
What a great reporting team we have at awesome.com. Everybody ahead of the news.
I'm killing this shit, baby. I'm putting that update in here now. Either way, I would rather have Corey Joseph.
It's a good matchup with the Clippers. Caruso's just been so good. And the thing that really struck me about Caruso, and really that whole second unit, the last time that LeBron was out when they played the Pistons, those guys were all just getting theirs. And Caruso in particular was getting his the most. He wasn't even looking at other guys. He was slashing to the rim.
Oh, man.
I could see him having a day.
It's been so long since we've done a show together, and you've recommended some dog shit player that I make fun of. Alex Caruso is 2019's Tim Quarterman. Although I guess, yeah. That's what's happening right now. If Alex Caruso gets cut by the Lakers before this game starts.
No, he's a part of their future. He's a part of their future. He's not a part of their future. He's been over 29.75 in his last 3.
By the way, everybody, for everybody to understand this, last year, towards the end of the season, Chris was advocating for Tim Quarterman. And before lineups locked, Tim Quarterman got cut. He was removed from the roster in its entirety.
Yeah, that's a different situation, though. Caruso's been in there. They're giving him minutes. He's getting runs. Tim Quarterman was when it was full NBA tank season, and we had no idea who was in that rotation.
That show probably exists, right? Like, we could go back and pull that clip.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Brett, if you're listening, go find that clip of when Tim Quarterman got cut. We're going to want that for the archives.
It was a memorable moment in both my DFS career and my hosting DFS shows career.
That was so funny.
I still don't think Caruso fits that criteria, though. Like the Quarterman was a dice toss kind of thing where it seemed like he'd get minutes because they had nobody else available. Caruso's getting the minutes, so I'm in on Caruso today. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I have a little bit. I don't want it to sound like I don't, or at least I did on my last crunch. That might change now with the Corey Joseph news and stuff.
All right. What about the rest of the Lakers? Kyle Kuzma has been assisting the ball a little more. He's had 8 and 10 assists in his last 2 games. Usage rate goes up with no LeBron as well. Rondo still getting minutes. JaVale McGee got a ton of minutes last time that LeBron was out, but that was a spot where they're going against Drummond. How many Lakers or any are you playing?
So I have a lot of Kuzma and Rondo, and I'm cool with that. I'm getting more JaVale that I'm comfortable with, but I see a lot of upside there if today is the day that he gets 30 minutes and not 18. He's just all over the place, so I don't really know how to project him. But if he's going to be sub 10% owned, like I think that's a play that can break a slate if he plays 30 minutes. I have more KCP on DraftKings right now than I would have expected. I'm going to try to walk that back and probably set a cap because, in case you didn't hear me, I said KCP and he sucks. So
he's okay.
I want to stick to Kuzma and Rondo if I have to. What about you?
I have to debate somebody here on Caruso in the premium Slack with no stocks. All right, I'm defending our boss lookalike just in case. Alex, we always got your back. Anybody who even looks remotely like you, I'll defend him to the death. Yeah, I have a lot of Kuzma. More Rondo though. Kuzma, I think, though, is an interesting play. His price is down to 5,900 on DraftKings. I think he's got a lot of upside. He's going to score. The thing with the Bucks, which I've talked about in content, and I feel like a lot of people still don't grasp. I've heard a lot of the analyst people now start talking about it too. The Bucks are going to let somebody shoot a lot of threes today, and I don't know who it's going to be. But we've seen it every single game. They allow someone to get just a ton of open looks. I think my instinct says it's Rondo, but I think it could easily be Kuzma too. Kuzma is actually a worse three-point shooter than Rondo, even though you would assume Rondo is a worse shooter and everywhere.
I wouldn't. I'm on the Rondo's a good three-point shooter hill for ages now. He just doesn't shoot a lot of them.
He doesn't have a confident shot either, but when he takes them, he's making a decent clip. He's the second best three-point shooter right now on the Lakers out of all the active Lakers, excluding Alex Caruso, who is the number one. But I think Kuzma, though, could be a guy who gets a ton of shots from three because they're going to know he's not going to do a ton of damage. He's shooting 30.5% from deep from the year, but still shooting 6 times a game. Like, that's a guy you leave open and let Chuck 12 times, and maybe he gets 6 of those.
He might.
Corey in the premium Slack asking thoughts on Jonathan Williams. Any interest in him as a potential McGee pivot, given that you're heavy on McGee?
He's showing up as a potential punt play for me, but I am not comfortable with that at all.
Yeah, that one I'm not either. I think he could see minutes because he seems like he should be more switchable on defense than McGee is, but even that, I'm not sold on him actually being an upgrade in that department.
No, he's not. He's not good, is the problem.
No, he's not.
I mean, that's the problem with a lot of these guys. They're simply just not very good.
Yeah.
We're getting into that time of the year.
Yeah, the Tim Quarterman time of year. Yeah. We are really getting into. Some of these guys will be good, though. But yeah, I'm with you. Jonathan Williams, not a guy. If you were getting a starters run, I think I could take him. But even then, this Bucks matchup could just go weird, where they could just go small and try to space him out. And there's too many ways I can go weird. Any Mike Muscala for you? He's starting for LeBron again.
As far as I know, absolutely zero. Yeah, none.
I didn't get there either, but he is a guy who can shoot. I think, I wouldn't hate if you had him in a lineup, but I didn't get there either.
I don't even know if he stays on the court.
Yeah, he's been under 20 minutes for the most part recently. He's at the minimum on DK, though.
I mean, it's DMP CD'd half the time. Well, by half the time, I mean twice, but 2 minutes and 4 minutes and 5 minutes. So
the last time
I gave him 18 minutes. That's the best I can do right now.
Yeah, that's what basically what he played the last time LeBron was out, where he actually started the second half and I think played 1 minute, and Luke Walton was like, "All right, that's enough," and then he just didn't see the court again.
Smart trade there. Glad they got rid of him, or glad they brought him in.
Yeah, get rid of the talented young big guy who could have been a part of a trade in Zubac and bring in Mike Muscala to do nothing and be terrible in every respect of the game.
I figured they were going to play him a ton. I'm just like, okay, we're just going to get some shooting around LeBron. Here goes nothing. And it was like, no, we're going to bury his ass. Even when everybody's hurt, he's not going to play.
Yeah, Bullock too. They really haven't used to peak efficiency. I
think they just realized that both of those guys actually suck as well.
Bullock's not bad, but you have to, give him a lot of shots and a lot of space, and they didn't do either of those. Let's go to Golden State. We got no DeMarcus Cousins today. The Warriors have been looking good overall. Steph Curry just been a monster recently, shooting about 25 times a game in his last few. Kevin Durant back in the lineup. What are you doing with the Warriors here? And also, I guess the Timberwolves, because Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be a popular dude today.
Yeah, I have a ton of Curry. I have a ton of Durant on FanDuel. I don't have as much on DraftKings. He's less appealing to me when I don't have to force positions. I'm a little bit over the field on Draymond. That's it for Golden State. On the Minnesota side, a bunch of Towns, a bunch of Wiggins, and then a little bit of Tyus Jones on FanDuel.
You say a bunch of Wiggins?
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's 5,400 on DraftKings.
I know. I still only have one lineup with him out of 20 right now because I just don't buy him right now.
I'll have a few more than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's another guy that I'm not really stoked about having.
I'd rather go to like LeVert. I'd rather go. There's just other places to go. I think I'm just not. I'm a never Wiggins guy unless like Towns is out. Then I'm alright with it. But
yeah, I don't want him.
Poor Andrew Wiggins.
I mean, it's really unappealing. He's been absolutely terrible lately. 0.8 something fantasy points per minute. But I can't project him to where he's been playing, over 2 weeks. I have him a little bit higher than that. And it creates a weird scenario where I get way too much. I only have 89% Mirotic now, by the way, just in case you were curious.
Oh, see, okay. You hedged that by 3%. Thank God.
Well, I recrunched, and now I just have a lot more of other dudes. What are you doing with Curry and Durant?
I'm playing Curry. I'm not playing Durant right now. The ankle issues I don't love. I don't think a back-to-back also for a guy coming off of ankle problems seems like the spot. The price looks nice, but I would rather go to Curry. I'd rather go to Clay. I also think Draymond's kind of under the radar here at less ownership. Pretty cheap. I think you could have some upside in this spot. So I like everybody more than Durant, I think, on the Warriors. That's kind of where I stuck on it.
Yeah, it would have been really difficult for me to tout Draymond any harder than I did this morning. So
yeah, same page. I think the rebounding upside's there, a little more playmaking time as well. I mean, Iguodala's back in the lineup, so that kind of takes a hit. But just Cousins not being there gives Draymond the ball in his hands, which he doesn't quite get a lot of with Cousins out there.
He's dramatically different with Cousins off the floor.
And two, like the Timberwolves are just such a bad defensive team where he's going to get a lot more assists. He's going to get a lot more time. Just he could also hit some shots himself even, which, hard for Draymond to do.
I'm not going to go that far.
Perfect spoon. It's not going crazy about an NBA player hitting open shots.
For real.
Here's a question from Nick Zylak. We'll touch on some more games, but this one seems like a fair one to hit on because we already talked about the game. Would it be crazy to fade Bledsoe and DK GPPs if you're playing 190 lineups? He hasn't been over 30 minutes in any of the 6 games without Giannis this season. Kind of want to fade his ownership and hope for less than 30.
I mean, depends what fade means when you're playing that many lineups. If you mean play 0 of him across 150 lineups, that seems like a really, really incorrect way to do this. If you want to come on under the field though and pivot to guys in his area, I'll never have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think that seems pretty reasonable to me. I think going under the field on Bledsoe makes sense, but I think he's got a lot of upside. He also put up, I think, 53 fantasy points the last time he played the Lakers, and now they've really only gotten worse. And I'm about as concerned as you could be about Bledsoe because I've been burned by him a couple times. That Chicago day in particular, I was very unhappy with his effort and the minutes he got and everything involved there. So I think I'm willing to ride with it. For Nick, it means fade means like 10%. Sure.
Yeah, I think you could offload a little bit to Lou Will, Spencer Dinwiddie. If you want to go to like Pat Bev, Tyus Jones, these are all guys that aren't getting any ownership in and around Bledsoe's price. I have Bledsoe outscoring Lou Williams 73% of the time, with taking salary into account. But right now, Bledsoe is getting 85% of the ownership between the two of them. So you can get to a little bit more of all of those guys around him and just shave some of the top off of Eric Bledsoe. And I think that's a decent idea. If that's a direction that you are confident in going.
Yeah, I think that seems fair to me. And we talked about the reasons why we both are a little more on Bledsoe. Just no Brogdon and no Giannis changes the equation a little bit, or at least enough where I'm willing to give Bledsoe. If Bledsoe craps the bed today, he is officially on my persona non grata list.
I agree with that, saying that you just used, but why isn't it pee the bed? How many people crap the bed? That's awful. Awful. But peeing the
I
bed
can't say
happens
that I
constantly.
do. Constantly?
I mean, in comparison, it's got to be like 30 to 1.
Sure. I guess because people pee the bed enough, it's a much worse crime to crap the bed.
Yeah, yes. I mean, there's no coming back from that, right?
You certainly cannot come back from crapping the bed, especially with a significant other. You got to really be like, you could probably get away with that now.
You can shart the bed.
It's not the elegant talk people expect from our reunited Live Before Lock shows.
It's been a while, man. Been a while.
It has been. I know. I'm on. I don't want to get in trouble.
We're all
right. Yeah. So people also requesting a halftime Joshy likes. We do this. We do a little Uncle Joshy, Uncle Chubbs.
Uncle Chubbs.
Josh. Of course, his childhood nickname. Guys may not hear about Snuff on the other shows that Josh does because those people don't know Josh as well as I do. Josh's childhood nickname, of course, the Chubster. He has gone by that for several decades now.
No part of that is true.
Uncle Chubbs will be giving his likes in just a few short minutes. Crap the bed comes from when a dude dies, which means you're doing it because you're dying. So there we go. Roboshua, always good for facts.
Why do you know that?
Roboshua is a smart person. I don't even know if he's a he or a female, but whoever he or she is, a very smart person who asks like really good questions every day. So
you go with the long O on that one?
What do you go? You go Roboshua?
Yeah, I say it like it's my name, but with a J instead of or with a Reb instead of a J.
I guess I do give it a little more of a Native American feel.
Because you certainly don't call me Joshua or Josh.
No, I know. I call you Juice behind your back.
Great.
Even though you're not Jewish. Actually, I did have a friend in high school who went by Juice. That's not even. Can't take credit for that. And he was very Jewish.
You also call me Chubster, so there's that. But that's mostly an artifact of the YouTube chat.
It's true. This Chuck Wheeler in the YouTube chat crapped the bed yesterday and clicked John Lure by mistake in a late change. Yep, playing John Lure would have certainly constituted that.
Oh, that's not a mistake. You did that on purpose. You just happened to get caught by the Thon McCurr news coming out 2 more minutes after that.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal for Eddie. Was all over Thon McCurr. How did Thon McCurr even do? I can't
imagine he did well. I don't remember seeing his name or hearing anyone mention it.
I think we might have known if Eddie had been correct.
Yeah,
you know what?
I didn't see it.
Rabashua, by the way, says that you are correct. It is Rabashua, not Roboshua. So I guess my Native American flair to the name no longer there. That hurts me a little, to be honest. All right, it's halftime, Josh. Let's do a little daddy likes here, or Uncle Chubbs and Uncle Spags. We'll see what we both like. You're filling in for daddy. People in the YouTube chat asking. Eddie is currently celebrating his anniversary with his wife, so let him be a human being. We're doing the show. This is the original Live Before Lock Awesemo.com crew, but obviously Eddie's brought his great knowledge to us, but we're back. So technically we have seniority, so go screw Eddie. He actually may very well do that tonight with his lovely lady. Josh, number 1 on the list, Eric Bledsoe on DraftKings, 39% expected ownership. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
I think it's incredibly correct. I have no issue with it whatsoever. He should absolutely be the most owned guy on the slate. Yeah,
I'm 50% Bledsoe, and as I've mentioned, I really do not trust and in fact oft despise him, but I'm going half Bledsoe, so I'm above that too. Number 2 on the list, we got Nikola Mirotic, a fellow Buck, also 39%. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
What was the number?
39 also.
It's the one I like the least. It's the one I would look to fade the most.
Okay.
If he had small forward, power forward eligibility instead of power forward center, he'd be significantly more interesting.
Yeah.
I love him and I'm playing a lot. So let's not. I don't want to like make this sound like I'm doing something I'm not, but that would be the one where I would get a little bit of pause on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I love it because of the way the position breaks down.
Okay, so you're okay with the 60% almost on FanDuel?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I have 90.
Yeah. I feel like intellectually you might not even support that, but in terms of your playing, you are firmly supporting that.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess.
All right, back to the DraftKings list. Number 3, Chris Middleton. So Team Bucks riding out the entire top 3. 38% for Middleton. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that one?
I have a ton of Middleton, so I cannot say anything other than I'm cool with it. Just look, try to make sure that if you're playing a single entry tournament, you don't necessarily have to get away from those guys if you don't want to. But, just make sure that you're differentiating yourself at like 1 or 2 spots. You don't have to go crazy and just fade like everything chalky today. I would I can't imagine even having a lineup where I didn't have one of those 3 guys in it.
Yeah, I'm with that. I would think though with Middleton, I think there's a sort of easier pivot than actually that's not true because Bledsoe has quite a few as well. But Middleton, for the reasons we talked about, the ceiling perhaps not as high, even if he is more reliable. Like I think he's great in cash, but he might not have that tournament upside. Like going to Jimmy Butler is a play I'm doing a lot today because I think that rest day for him, whatever that was, I think that might be something that wasn't reported on. That's my pet theory, which I often have many of, obviously. I think there was some sort of talking to where he took a day off and he came back and he's been coming out like swinging in his last 2 games. So 44 and 45 fantasy points, looking more engaged, doing all the stuff. So Butler would be a good pivot to Middleton, I think.
Yeah, and Middleton, again, I like Middleton a lot. I have more of him than any other buck on DraftKings. At least I did on my last crunch. The key takeaway, there's 2 pieces to this. One, the reason that I have so much of him is because he's shooting guard small forward on DK. And you can basically fit him into 5 of the 8 spots. I can just naturally get more exposure to Chris Middleton because of the places that I can put him. But that also allows him to be easily hot swapped for like basically 2/3 of the entire player pool. So you can get away from Chris Middleton easily, whether that's basically everybody in his range. Lou Will, Gallo, Buddy Hield, Butler, Tobias Harris, Klay Thompson. Like you can get to all of these guys because Middleton is taking up more ownership than, the large majority. I like the call of Jimmy Butler there, though.
Yeah, he's the guy who jumped out, but you're right. There are a lot of guys in that same range, like $700 more, $700 either direction. You're pretty much getting a lot of guys with a decent ceiling. D'Angelo Russell also fits that criteria.
Yeah.
Let's go to number 4 on the list, Josh. Karl Anthony Towns, we got at 33% on DraftKings. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
I don't know what I have anymore because I have not selected the lineup. So let me reselect what I have here and just see where I'm coming in right off the bat. But I'm going to have to re-optimize. So I had like the same amount as the field before the Collison news. So as of right now, I have 33% Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay. So you're with it. I think I'm about there too. I don't know my exact percentage offhand, but it's a good spot for him. Whenever Teague is out, I really do try to force some Towns in there. I think I have a little concern that game just blows out because I think the Warriors are going to come out and bomb on him. But Towns still going to get his minutes. He's got some performance bonuses I think he needs to hit too.
He does. That's something I've been talking about a lot lately. If he makes the All NBA team, he's in for like an additional 30 or 40 million on his contract. Like full stop, not even just like up in the air. So he's not going to stop playing on his own accord.
Yeah. No, I think that seems pretty fair to me.
By the way, I love, as much as I love Towns and I'm getting to him, there are a lot of guys in and around, well, not in and around because there's not that many guys at center in his salary range, but there is so much value at center that can play center that it's really easy to be under on Towns if you are not a believer.
Yeah, I find it. I am a believer though, so I agree that there are some other ways to go there, and also just paying down at center. I think might be a move. Go to a McGee and then just get more of the point guards. The point guard position to me is like the point guard / guard position, shooting guard position is stacked. Like I think you can go with just one center, and if you want to get away from Towns and really get a different lineup construction, that would be how I would go.
Yeah, like would be a good example in this list. I like Draymond a lot, but he's not a good example for me because I like Draymond way too much. But Clint Capella is at 5% ownership right now. Like, should he really be 5 if Towns is 33? I don't know. It seems a little high.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, Capella's got some upside. I mean, and even if he doesn't have upside, he's going to get you probably 40 fantasy points. And think that's enough to at least justify making a pivot elsewhere if you want to, if you're seeing some angles that people aren't playing.
Like, is $6,600 Montrezl Harrell so crazy if he's 4% owned? Probably not.
Yeah.
Like, I have Towns decidedly ahead of every one of these guys. Towns is my favorite center by far on DraftKings. But he's not as far ahead of everybody compared to where his ownership is relative to these guys. That's when I see a chance to like squeeze it a bit.
Yeah, you squeeze that.
I walked right into that shit.
That could have been anything though. Could we talk about some good OJ? I like a nice fresh squeezed OJ. Number 5 on the list, the guy who could also fit as a pivot, Miles Turner. 25% expected ownership on DraftKings. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
I have 8. So that's how I feel about it. Turner is not a guy that I've been looking at all that much. I like him. Like, the things that could be good for him all point in the right direction. The problem is, it's just there's like 12 dudes that can play center. He can only play center. Not having power forward is huge for me. There are 12 dudes in and around his salary that I can justify being in a similar spot. He's like a coin flip to a lot of these guys, and he's carrying ownership, and some of them aren't. Like, is he really that much better off than Dwayne Dedmon? Like, yes, but no.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a risk. I think he's a risk for a different reason. The Clippers gets the line a ton, and I think he's going to chase some blocks and get in foul trouble. So I think Sabonis actually, who's actually, let me check Sabonis' ownership, but Sabonis before was still pretty highly owned at 15%.
Yeah.
I didn't play much Turner, but I did play more Sabonis than Turner because I think Turner's going to get in trouble. And I think people are chasing that big day yesterday.
Yeah, like, I understand why people like him, but I don't think that he should be the third most owned center behind Towns and Mirotic. And I don't think Mirotic really counts, but you know what I mean. I don't think that he should be that high. There's just too many other possible dudes you can play in a center spot.
Yeah, I agree. I like Turner's potential. Like, I think he certainly has that upside, and I'm probably more of a pro Turner guy, but the foul trouble stuff with him really always worries me. And especially when he's chalk, I find it a little bit easier just to get away and hope for the best elsewhere.
Want to get away? Yeah, he's also not like crazy fantastic with Collison off.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't check those because we just got that news before we came on, but that's good to know.
He is, I think I still have it up. He's been at 1.08 FanDuel points per minute in 78 minutes without Collison since the trade deadline. So obviously, very small sample size in that point, but I just wanted to make sure I got Wes Matthews on. I have him projected significantly higher than that, so it's not that I'm advocating to project him for 1 point whatever I just said. I just mean, like, I could even go down from that number, and I'm not getting much of him where I have him.
Yeah, all right, that works for me. Let's talk more about Collison. We're getting, or actually about, Corey Joseph more related than Collison. People asking about him on both DK and as a drop on FanDuel. So I guess give me your Corey Joseph thoughts now that we're assuming we're going to have no Darren Collison, who's been downgraded to doubtful.
Yeah, by the way, Tyson Chandler in, Josh Hart in, or at least both available to play.
Okay.
I don't think Tyson Chandler matters all that much. Who the fuck knows at this point with the way the Lakers run centers out there. Hart should just continue to do what he's been doing. Corey Joseph. Uh-oh. Oh, I never updated that stuff. Annoying. Is this going to freeze?
Wait, what didn't you update? You updated it on the site.
No, I'm talking about my own personal stuff that I'm doing right now. Let's see. Corey Joseph. I'll see where he's at in my top list of DraftKings lineups, and then I can go from there. So I was re-optimizing my DraftKings stuff when you asked me that. Corey Joseph. I have 8% Corey Joseph on DraftKings right now.
Okay, that seems about reasonable. Yeah, not a great per minute play, it looks like, but from a value perspective, it is hard to argue.
Yeah, like, I'm rotating between him, Caruso, and Pat Connaughton. I don't feel very comfortable in any of those guys, but I need to spend 30-something hundred on, this crop of dudes.
Also, Makad in the premium Slack pointing out we did just get an ownership update, and now Corey Joseph up to number 5 on the list. So Corey Joseph thriving.
Yeah, he went. That's a lot of Corey Joseph, I guess, huh?
I mean, if you're going to play him, this does feel like the spot. Somebody on Twitter asked, are you okay with Corey Joseph versus Patrick Beverly? Rockout Magazine is a good guy on Twitter, but hard to check Twitter during the show, so better to put stuff in the chats. Beverly D doesn't worry me at all about Corey Joseph because,
No.
what's he going to shut down Corey Joseph?
I don't get the sense that Corey Joseph is in games a lot, like talking a bunch of shit and making Patrick Beverly activate himself, so to speak.
Right. And what is Corey Joseph going to keep not shooting?
Yeah. Patrick Beverly is not going at Corey Joseph unless Corey Joseph is some sort of an asshole that I didn't know about. By the way, I made this into a Friday stream, even though it's Tuesday. This is my second glass of wine.
It's one of those weeks already on a Tuesday.
Yeah, I guess. It's been nice here. Nice weather here makes you want to have cocktails.
All right, let's go to some of the other games. Getting some questions about James Harden and the Rockets here. We have not touched on it. Super degree of depth. What are you doing with Harden? He's going to have some ownership on him. He's got, I would say, the highest ceiling on the slate by a decent margin at this point, maybe, unless we want to say Towns has that as well. What are you doing with Harden if he's going to be pretty decently owned?
Yeah, so I'm following in the same footsteps as Adam. He mentioned this on the deeper dive, so if you're not watching that, what in the world are you doing from 5 to 6?
Sure.
I'm playing quite a bit of Harden on FanDuel. Not all that much on DraftKings, but I'm still involved. I have a ton of Chris Paul on DK, not as much on FanDuel. So I basically have those two guys flip-flopped on both sites.
Okay, yeah. I was getting in my and on the optimizer was getting a lot of Chris Paul and a lot of Harden, so I kind of had to mute that. But I think getting to where the field is with Harden makes sense because if he does have that 80, 90 point day today, like I don't see. I mean, I guess it's enough value out there on DraftKings where you could still get there, but I feel like that's going to be in a winning tournament lineup today because nobody else has that upside on the slate for the most part.
Okay, I have 10% Harden on DraftKings right now. This is going to be what I'm pasting in here. And I have 30% Chris Paul.
Okay. That's reasonable. I mean, it's a nice spot for Paul. The price is really nice on DraftKings as well. I think he got an A and an A from Alex today too.
I haven't updated in a while, so I'm not entirely sure.
There's actually a lot of A and A's today for Alex in our rankings. If you are a premium member, if you're not a premium member, go use the promo code Live Before Lock now. Get half off your first month. Go check out Alex's rankings last minute. Do a little last minute cram for yourself because right now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys who get an A in points and in value from Alex on DraftKings. So you are missing out on these 7 gentlemen. You may have a tough night. So go check that out with promo code Live Before Lock. Any Hawks for you on the other side of that Rockets game?
As far as I remember, it's just barely like a little bit of Trae Young. 14% Trae Young on DK. No one else anywhere. And 4% Dwayne Dedmon on FanDuel is the highest I have of anybody.
Okay, yeah. I forced a little Collins in there. I'm actually fading Trae Young today. His minutes are not as high as they were with that last game versus Houston. It's a pace down spot too. Trae, he's shooting a good amount, so he could still get there, but he's not assisting or shooting as much recently. So I think he's kind of leveled out for the most part. I still think he's a fine player, but I'd rather go elsewhere if he's going to be substantially owned like we have him at. He came down a little, but still 20%.
Yeah, like I think I'm just with it. Fields at 16. I think I'm at 14. I'm fine with just running in place on that one.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned my love for Butler. Butler is at the same price point, so if it's between those two guys, I got a lot more of Butler than I did Trae.
I don't even know how much I have of Butler now. That makes me concerned. I had a lot earlier today. I have 33% Jimmy Butler. How's that? You got that?
I'm above that. I'm at 43%. I think.
All right. Let's roll JB.
I'm a believer. He is a guy who was really not passing my eye test, and I watch a lot of these games because what am I going to do?
We're in a great time in our life where we can say, "Oh, this is our job."
It's true. Though you know what? Tom doesn't let us count watching games on the hourly. So unfortunately, I think he
Clearly,
should.
you've tried to do that.
Well, I haven't floated it, but I just know how it would go. So put it like that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of that with Butler today. I like what I'm seeing from him, and I think he's going to keep asserting himself for now. I mean, that could always go sideways because that's what Jimmy Butler and the Sixers do. Let's talk about Brooklyn and Sacramento because now that is the highest total on the slate. We touched on some of the guys here and there, but haven't gone on length about it. Which guys do you have the most in this game?
Brooklyn and Sacramento. What am I saying? Lots and lots of Buddy Hield, particularly on FanDuel. He's just underpriced. I have roughly the same as the field. I essentially don't have De'Aaron Fox. I literally don't have him on FanDuel, and I only have 5% on DK, where he's 24%. So pretty big fade out of Fox, which makes me nervous, but because of his price tag, 7K on DK looks kind of nice. I'm just not getting there. On the Brooklyn side, I'm basically with the field on Russell, with the field on Jared Allen, with the field on Spencer Dinwiddie on FanDuel, and pretty heavy on Joe Harris.
Oh,
Harris is 43.
I like Joe.
He's 4,300 on FanDuel. He's $300 cheaper than he is on DK. And again, that position sucks.
Yeah, no, yeah, Joe will at least get you something, which I think is good. He's been disappointing me though. Like I like him as a player, but I think he's just kind of lost in that rotation a little bit. But I mean, for FanDuel,
30 minutes at a small forward spot, like he makes it easy to not pay attention, and then I don't have to sift through the rest of the garbage.
Yeah, and a ton of pace as well, and some extra rebounds floating around there. I think if you're going to play him, today's a spot to play him. I'm with the field on Karras. He's really the only guy on the Nets I have a good amount. Actually, I'm above the field on Spencer Dinwiddie now, looking at that. But with Karras, I think he's at a good price. He's starting. The minutes are there. So I'm okay going to Karras, even though I know he doesn't have a ton of upside. I feel like he's at a good price on DraftKings at 4,900, where if he gets me 30, I'm probably okay with that with my line of constructions. Dinwiddie, though, I think people may be sleeping on a little too much. He's shooting 16 times a game, and Russell had the big game last time, but I think those have been few and far between for Russell in large part because of Dinwiddie.
I have absolutely no Karis LeVert on either site.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I mean, not a high ceiling, so I get why you wouldn't go there, but I wanted some safety at a couple spots.
I don't understand why he's as chalky as he is, so that one might bite me a lot. I'm very surprised to see Karis LeVert at 20% ownership on both sites.
I think it's the starting and the minutes, and then just he's been okay. I think he also had a decent game last time too, so I'm sure that probably helps a little.
Oh.
Yeah, I have him projected for 27.5. He put up 26.5 last game. Yeah, you're probably right, but shot 15 times.
I thought I would have gotten a lot of them when I first started the day, and now I don't have him at all. I'm nervous, though. It's one that makes me nervous.
Yeah, the thing for me is now he's in I would say, it's a faster paced spot. He played the Clippers in the last game, 32 minutes, shot 15 times, shot 4 threes, didn't hit any of them. So he put up 26.5, but mostly played kind of crappily. Other than assists, he did pretty well in that category. But I think, the Kings matchup, it seems like he should have a better day. So to me, in my mind, I was like, I've just had in my head, he's going to get me 30 today. And that's basically why I've landed on Karras over and over again.
I haven't been getting much of him lately, thank God.
He's been bad. He's been bad lately, but I think I haven't projected for 27.5 today. I think I would take that, all things considered.
Sure.
Sacramento side you talked about. I have some Willie Cauley-Stein. I think he's an okay play at his price on DraftKings, and I think the rebounding matchup is pretty good for him. So he's actually my highest owned king, I think. No Buddy for me. Buddy, I'm not buying into Buddy today because of the Nets closing out on three-point shooters really well. I don't think that's a good spot for Buddy.
Yeah, I have a little bit of Willie Cauley-Stein. Nothing crazy.
All right, let's see the questions. Checking the premium Slack now. Going to answer your questions. Going to also do some either-ors and all that. Dr. Miles asking, no John Collins for you. Are you saying that you hate him?
Yes.
Do you really hate him today?
Oh, no. I'd never get him.
Okay. I forced him in a couple because he's had 4 straight games over 45.5 fantasy points before that last one versus Orlando, where the starters got pulled early and Collins was in foul trouble too, and he only got 20 minutes. But he's actually taken some of that Trae Young usage. So that's where I've been going more so. I think he's going to be low owned. I think he's in a nice spot.
Yeah, he's just a guy that I never, ever, ever get to.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
He's 8,600 on FanDuel today, so I think we can mostly ignore that. But for 7,500 on DK, I need him to get north of 50, and he just doesn't play enough minutes for me to think that that's a feasible scenario a lot. So I wouldn't have as much problem running him out in a cash scenario. I mean, I don't like him much in general today, but I like him more in cash scenarios than in GPP scenarios because he rarely plays just a crazy amount of minutes.
I think that's fair. I think Dedmon, so this is something I've observed. Dedmon really hurts everybody in that lineup for whatever reason. I think just the way he functions in that offense, whenever he's starting, everybody gets a little bit worse. And on a per minute basis, I think that backs out for the most part. But I just don't like what he does yet. Like Herter was looking like a monster when Dedmon was sidelined, and he was like driving and dishing out and like a lot of corner threes to other guys and just like doing a great job rebounding too. And then Dedmon comes back in, and he's just like shooting 10 times a game and doing the same thing. I would like to see those guys play without Dedmon more down the stretch. I think they'll be monsters.
In case anybody's curious, Biyombo starting for Charlotte.
Okay, so the Biyombo Amir Johnson. Did you end up with any Amir Johnson after the Boban news of not starting?
I assume no.
Put in one just because I missed out on all the Amir days because I was so dead set against playing him.
No, I have a flat 0.
Yeah. Dave almost has a 4.0 on the lineup builder on Osmo.com, which you also get the premium membership. A lot of AAs today. So if you ever wanted to get a good grade in something, today is the day to do it.
I haven't gotten a good grade since middle school.
No, yeah, a lot of passable ones. I had a couple A pluses in college, but they were few and far between.
I couldn't have gotten a 4.0 in every single year of college if I added most of my semesters together each year.
Yeah,
there's 3 straight semesters of academic probation.
Well, you made it here, and that's what matters. Your degree got you somewhere.
Screw my high school, screw my college. I didn't need any of your garbage. I won life.
All right, let's get some either ors in here since they're piling in now in the Slack. Sabonis or Thad Young for FanDuel?
I have 13% Thad Young and 1% Sabonis.
I have about an even amount of both, but so I think Thad Young's a safer play. Sabonis, though, is Turner highly owned on FanDuel too? Because I think that would be
20.
relevant. All right, so it's not as great of a pivot there, but I think it's just Sabonis for me overall. I think this is a good spot for Sabonis, and I think Turner's going to have a tough time today. So I would go Sabonis. Would you take House or Harris in a FanDuel GPP?
Harris?
Yeah.
What Harris?
Tobias, I guess.
But
wait, no, but over House.
I mean, that can't be the question. Who are we missing? Who's the Harris that we're missing? Joe Harris? It's got to be Joe Harris, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I would take Joe Harris.
I too would take Joe Harris. I'm not playing any House today.
No,
he didn't pop up for me. Boban on FanDuel. Do you have any?
If anybody's playing Boban on FanDuel, just send me head-to-heads. As many as you want for whatever volume you want. He's $6,800 on FanDuel.
Did you say 68 or 78?
68.
Oof. Either way, not no.
I wasn't playing him. I would have had flat 0 by a mile if he was still starting.
Yeah, you'd have to assume he's getting like the 29 minutes he got that one start, and that doesn't seem like a likelihood.
Yeah, no, don't do that one. Don't play Boban on FanDuel. There is no upside to that play.
For FanDuel cash, would you go Curry or Simmons?
Curry.
Yeah, I think it's pretty strongly Curry with his usage recently and the staggering of minutes and all that. It looks good for Curry. Yeah. So, yeah. Thoughts on Dinwiddie for a FanDuel GPP? We talked about this, but what are your thoughts for FanDuel specifically?
I have 11%, so I'm right with the field. I have no issue whatsoever going to Spencer Dinwiddie.
I think he's an interesting play. I think I'm only playing on DraftKings, but I think he's a good play today in general because of the matchup. So I would support that. Kuzma, Sabonis, or Bagley on FanDuel for a GPP?
You said FanDuel?
Yep.
Kuzma.
Yeah, that's Kuzma for me. That's Kuzma for me on both sides. I think Kuzma's in a nice spot today. Middleton and Tobias or Butler and Draymond?
Well, I don't know which site, but Butler and Draymond. I don't think I have any Tobias Harris.
Yeah,
I literally have 0 Tobias Harris.
I think I might have 1 out of 25 lineups Tobias, but even that, that's like my max. I think the Middleton Tobias lineup, if you're trying to get safe and you have some more risks at other spots, I think that's fine. I think it's a very cashy type play though, and I personally prefer Butler and Draymond.
Dude, I'm so sad that it's 6:56 already.
I know this flew by. When we talked shit for the first 10 minutes. Don't discuss basketball items. People in the YouTube chat were scowling angrily. Did well with views though. Same views that we usually do on this day. Butler or CP3 and DK Cash?
Chris Paul. That's close.
For Cash, you got to go Chris Paul.
Yeah, there's so much more variability in Butler's performance, and Paul should be a little bit more owned, so that's a decent tiebreaker for me.
Yeah, I'm agreed. Miles Bridges or Ed Davis for a FanDuel GPP?
I assume it's Ed Davis, and I assume that I don't have any Miles Bridges. I have 0 Miles Bridges. I have 0 Ed Davis, but I generally end up with like some Ed Davis as a drop, so I'll go Ed Davis, but I don't have either. So, technically speaking, I'd rather you play none of those guys.
Yeah, Ed Davis always kind of in play because you can always take those minutes away and have a big run and a pace up. So I think spot for Sacramento probably better than Bridges, who's not going to ever do much. Why so low on House for you, Josh? On
Is
DK?
that Dave?
No, that's Nariki. Well, Dave was the Ed Davis question.
Oh, okay. Dave's been tugging off House all day today, so why no House?
Yeah.
Why House would be the easier question to ask. He's 2% owned on FanDuel and 1% owned on DraftKings. He's, I don't know, like the 7th most important Houston Rocket today. I mean, could he be a decent value play? Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe he gets some additional run because Houston wins by 600. I don't know. He's Daniel House on a day where there's plenty of value elsewhere.
Yeah, I think with his price up, if he were like min price, I would have no problem with him. And I wished I had more of him that other day. But even then, he didn't really like smash, really. So I don't think he's going to get you 30 fantasy points. But I think he's okay. I think if you're trying to get a value guy, he's all right as far as they go. But there's a lot of guys in that price range too on DK, including Alex Caruso. DK Cash, Sabonis and Turner, or Walker and Connaughton?
I assume Sabonis and Turner. I don't think I have any Connaughton. 11. You said DK Cash?
Yep.
That's a tricky one. I don't like the idea of having Sabonis and Turner, so split those guys and do something else.
Yeah, it's not the best either or. For Cash, I go Walker and Connaughton, I think, because ownership should be there on Walker, though he's not really a cashy guy.
I would go Turner and Sabonis because I feel like they're just simply better than those guys. But it's not a priority.
Brolo or Jared Allen on FanDuel? We're locked, but get it in there anyway.
Brolo or Jared Allen? Jared Allen. Michael Wilmot said, nice job, guys, but I wanted more bed shitting talk and less basketball talk.
That's unfortunate. So you have to save that for the DFS bed shitting hour that we do.
Yeah, that's the new show.
Let's see. Any other FanDuel questions we can't get?
By the way, my wife is at some sort of like purse auction right now, so I can hang out and do dumb shit.
All right. So hey, we'll go a little long. Let's do some actual daddy likes. I'll pull it up.
She sent me the text that says, "Good news. I might spend 500. I might spend nothing." So nothing. She might as well have kept that one to herself.
I feel like that's what marriage is, though.
Yeah.
You never know how the other person's going to shake out, but she's being positive, and that's all you can ask for.
Some sort of power of the purse thing, so just what she needs. More handbags. Be like me buying more video games.
She could do whatever she wants.
She can. She's the breadwinner of this relationship.
True. You are known for being just a sugar baby, fundamentally.
I'm more than okay with it.
I would actually, no, I guess I wouldn't actually kill to be a sugar baby because I feel like that would mean me dating like a 50-something-year-old woman who looks like the Crypt Keeper, and that would probably not go the best for me.
I mean, tell me that's not a real statement in that chat.
What?
Yeah, somebody yelled Mo Wagner starts, but that's not really out there.
Oh, yeah. If Mo Wagner starts, I'll tell you what, I'll be pretty pissed as a Mo Wagner supporter and of German culture in general. Actually, one of my A+ in college was a German literature and film class. Fun fact. Run Lola Run. Great film. All right. Got a little ownership here.
That won like an Oscar or something, didn't it?
I think so. It's certainly like a great German film, or is acknowledged as such in the annals of time. It was good, actually. I actually liked that class a lot. The teacher was pretty cool. He was like an old school German guy. Might have had some sort of affiliation to something bad. great class. One of my favorite classes at USC. March Madness thought. We'll take some questions. If you guys want to ask some weird questions in the premium Slack, you can do that now. Nothing too gross, but we'll do a little Uncle Chubbs and Uncle Spags likes because we got the full ownership in now, or not full, but whatever games are locked. We got, which I think is just one. So one game locked. Number one, Kemba Walker, 23.5%. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
Kemba Walker, 25.5.
23.5.
Okay. I wasn't really listening. I was still looking up Run Lola Run.
That's fair.
I have 22, so I guess I feel fine.
Yeah.
That's basically exactly where it should be. Look, he
that was what had him at the ownership wise for the entire day. To me, that seemed like the number to go to. He's had averaging 65.7 fantasy points versus Philly this year.
He's averaging 32 shots a game in 3 games.
Why would he hate Philly? Like I was looking at that because he's shooting, the usage goes really high. He's putting up a ton of shots. I don't think it's just game plan. So like, why? Why does he hate Philly?
I don't know. Same reason most people hate Philly. It sucks.
Yeah, it's true. He's probably like me. He was really sad when they booed Michael Irvin being stretchered out when they thought he was
moved
paralyzed.
500 miles away from that city on purpose. Shout out to your cheesesteaks, though. I'll eat that shit all day.
Somebody's saying your definition of fun is skewed. I meant as far as a class goes, that was a fun class relative to other things. Number two on the ownership, Ben Simmons, 22.39%. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
22.39.
Yep.
I have 27, which I really liked when I thought the public was 15.
I'm at 0. I didn't play any Ben today.
Holy shit, really? How is that not something we talked about on the show?
I've been taking harder stances recently. So when I see a spot that I feel comfortable with, I just ride it. And today that was Butler. And I don't think Butler and Simmons are great together.
I played the shit out of both of them. Well, I didn't play the shit out of Ben Simmons. I apparently played just barely above the field. Yeah, go Philly, I guess. Well, go all of the good people on Philly and Charlotte.
It's a spicy take to not play Ben, and honestly, probably one I wouldn't have put out there. But because I don't think he's a bad play. Just he was a bad play for me today because I like a lot of other point guards more, and I wasn't trying to get him at the other position on DraftKings. So that was where he shook out for me.
CSG Siri. I have no reason to share this, but public relations.
It's true. I was so brave. My take was so controversial yet so brave, to quote Eric Andre. Jimmy Butler, number 3 on the list at 21.24%. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
I mean, I liked being at 33 when I thought he was 13.
So that's the story of this game for you, really.
Yeah, I mean, I liked having a higher position on Philly because I thought they were underowned. Ultimately, they're not, and I'm still cool with it. They're guys I liked. I just like them less. Yeah, they have less of an impact on my bottom line now.
Yeah, I'm a little under double Jimmy Butler, so I'm cool with that. I liked him today. I think he was like a 40%-ish play for me. I think he might be ended up 35 in the final lineups I did, but yeah, I like Butler. I think he turned it around. Boban Marjanovic, number 4 at 16.3%. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
I played 13. I'm just happy to be in the ballpark. It doesn't matter, really.
Yeah, once he wasn't starting, I went down too. So I think I ended up a little bit under 16, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
I mean, even if he goes for 35, it doesn't make him essential. It just makes him really good.
Yeah, and it just makes it easier for what you could have done with your lineup. But I think there's enough options there where I wouldn't be. Like if you have Towns in there, and you don't have Boban, I don't think I'm worried about Boban not scoring Towns.
Right. It all depends on what the other major centers do.
Yep, I agree. Tobias at 9% expected ownership, or I guess actual ownership. What are we doing with that, Uncle Chubbs?
I have 0 on both sites.
Yeah, I think I ended up with none. I might have had one lineup, so I am also under that. It wasn't a Tobias spot for me. Of course, Tobias, Simmons, and Butler will both bust as chalk. It'll be Tobias Harris 60-point day.
Let's hope not.
I agree. Nick Batum, 7%. How does Uncle Chubbs feel about that?
Pretty good, I guess. I have 13 on DraftKings. So
think I'm at I'm at 5 or 10. I don't have my numbers in front of me, but so I'm right with that too. I think he's good. He's been really steady. He's been at like 30 fantasy points or above 7 out of his last 11 games. So he's just there every day. I liked him a lot more though when I thought Marvin Williams is going to be chalk based on our first ownership. We always have Marvin Williams being very popular in the first ownership of the day. People love Marvin Williams in our virtual reality.
Well, so I know why it is sort of. He's
Why?
a solid value just about every day, which
Right.
is good when there's no value yet. And then as these new guys come out, that like they price his solid value out of being in most lineups.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I could also see like we had him at 30% in the first ownership update of the day, like when I woke up and started doing everything. And like you could see him being at 30% based upon the fact he's had a big day recently. He had that like whatever 30 real life point day versus Washington, and he'd shown some upside. But to me, he's going to get you like 25 and maybe 30 if you're lucky. And you're right. That's probably good on a day where we don't have like 3,500 guys all over the place.
And then, Giannis gets ruled out and LeBron gets ruled out and
Right.
there's no Embiid, and all of a sudden most of the high-end talent that plays on the day aren't really there. So, you can start and scrub it a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So there you go. So that's why Marvin Williams might be always popular in the morning and get less popular throughout the day. Right behind him, I guess, wait, did I give the actual number? 6.8% on Marvin was the actual number. So that's fair.
I have 10. Yeah, that all makes sense.
Jeremy Lamb at 5.4%. I actually like that quite a bit.
Yeah, I ended up with none, which really surprises me.
Yeah, he's in a good spot.
I have quite a bit on FanDuel. He's only $400 more expensive there.
Yeah, I think he's got some rebounding upside too now that Amir's in there. I think it's a nice spot for him overall. I guess he'll still be probably getting a lot of Boban, but I think Lamb's in a good spot for rebounding and for scoring today.
I'm going to go ahead and remove this person permanently.
Oh, I do even want to know what they did.
No, their name isn't great.
Oh, okay, that's fair. We've been fairly tolerant of names, like our old pal HPT, who I haven't seen in the live.
Yeah, that one's not bad. That can just be real too.
True, you could just be really declaring it aggressively.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some people out there know who HPT is and follow the stream long enough, so we don't have to actually say what the name is.
Well, we'll just let it go. The people Johnson, that know will smile.
It's true. The 10 of them. Andrew Mocked, one of our guys who was asking for home run picks earlier in the chat. He'll know.
I didn't see that, but that's funny. Soon.
The game in which Jake and I both won in conjunction, holding hands as we crossed the finish lines while Josh watched from far away behind.
I was more efficient than you.
Whatever. It's a usage game. Amir Johnson at 4.4%. I'm gonna go. That's fair, but no, thank you.
Yeah, I don't have any. Thank God.
Let's go fast for these. JJ Redick 3.1. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I don't have any.
Yeah, I don't either. Kaminsky 3.1.
I have 8.
Also, I think I might be with you on that. Frank could be a spacing guy today, and they could just need more points. So I think he's an okay play at that percentage.
Yeah, when I see it, it makes me hate it. I'd rather just have 0.
Mike Scott at 0.98.
I don't have anybody. I don't think I have anybody else.
Yeah, couldn't care less. Jonah Bolden at 0.47. A little interesting.
Maybe.
It's a Boban. I think that's a fair percentage for Jonah Bolden. Why not? Bismack 0.35. None.
I wouldn't. If I knew that I was part of 0.35 on that, I wouldn't hate it. But he's terrible. On the off chance he picks up like a bunch of stocks today, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, especially not with how often they drive to the rim. He certainly could. You could also pick up 3 fouls in 30 seconds. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing.
Like, because if Amir is starting, then who is coming in when Boban is in? Because they're going to get fucked up.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So he might see a couple extra minutes. I don't have any, so I'm advocating for something that doesn't even help me.
I think Adam was saying too that Biyombo was probably closer to like 20 minutes last game, but he got foul troubles, or he had a foul and just got pulled after he got one. So I could see him getting up to 20, and at 20, he's got a shot in this spot with whatever matchup it is. Boban either being close to the rim or Amir just not being that great on the boards.
Do you see the most recent question you got asked in Premium Slack?
Let's see how much. How much Chubbs would Uncle Chubbs chub if Uncle
No,
Chubbs could chub Chubbs?
they wrote it as who, and immediately it got corrected with how, and that's the best part of the internet.
I'm glad they could get it in there. Twitter doesn't allow you that, but our premium Slack does.
Yes. I just love that it got pointed out.
All right, let's get to who played themselves in honor of our guy Eddie, who's happy anniversary, Eddie and Robin. You guys are both lovely people. I've enjoyed spending time with you of our live streams. But yeah, let's plow through these. Miles Bridges 0.11, TJ McConnell 0.14, Willie Hernangomez 0.10, Dwayne Bacon 0.05, James Ennis 0.03, Michael Kidd Gilchrist 0.03, Jonathan Simmons 0.02, and Cody Zeller 0.01%. Hey, congratulations, you played yourself.
I'd rather play Cody Zeller than Jonathan Simmons.
Jonathan Simmons, really, that contract he signed.
If you told me that he got -1 today, I'd be like, okay.
He has not aged well in general.
No, but he totally could play like the last 45 seconds of this game and get a turnover.
Yeah, that's also true. Let's take some questions since you got time. We'll do a couple minutes here because we got some premium Slack ones.
Yeah.
El Negro Loco asking, am I the only one who thinks it's weird that Chris Spags is calling Josh Engelman Uncle Chubbs? Yeah, that's sort of why we do it.
Yeah, it's super weird. It just is, though.
It would be a terrible nickname, but
I mean, it depends who you are.
True. I mean, when you've lived with it for 30 plus years like you have, it's just second nature.
I haven't even. It hasn't even been a year.
Makad's fiance has a sick bag habit as well, so you have a brother in arms for Pursery.
Okay. I couldn't figure out what we were going.
Yeah, a bag habit, not like a drug related one. Like
yeah, I was like, yeah. I mean, I've got a sick bad habit too.
March Madness thoughts. The one thought that I got from our boss Alex Osmo Baker is don't pick Duke in your tournament brackets because
I assume that would have been my first thought as well. Just looking at the tournament odds and the who picked whom sheet at ESPN.
I haven't.
But I don't know anything about it. I don't even know who the 1 seeds are.
Yeah, so Virginia's an interesting one
because of Zion, because that dude's everywhere.
I would honestly, for my one bracket thought for picking things, I really would favor the ACC. I think that's been a tough division overall for all those guys. I think they're going to be the team who has like 5 teams in the Sweet 16. But besides that, I agree. Like, just people have asked me for advice. I'm like, just play the Vegas odds. Like, play the Vegas odds for the first round, and then play like the championship odds for everything else. And that's just because you're going to be better, at least on paper, than the various secretaries and guys who think they know everything and really don't.
Yep.
Just play the odds. Just play the odds. But Virginia, sneaky pick. FSU also kind of sneaky, but Duke, I find it hard to believe Duke won't just win it, even though it's hard and it's
I hope they do.
Pick.
It'll be more enjoyable to me, but I probably would only watch the title game.
Did you watch the ACC games with Zion?
I haven't seen them play a second of basketball.
Oh, their tournament run. Zion is going next level. Like I don't know what I mean. I don't think it's.
I see whatever he does on House of Highlights.
that's
basically how I get exposed to these guys. By the way, Kemba 2 fouls almost immediately.
Ooh, chalk Kemba. Not well. He might stay out there though. They sometimes let him play until he gets 3. Then that would be problematic. Just strictly points. Just strictly points on FanDuel for cash. Do you like Rondo or Kuzma? Position does not matter.
FanDuel.
Yep, for cash.
I have Kuzma up 1.2 points ahead of him, so I guess Kuzma.
Yeah,
I think Kuzma's minutes are more set in stone than Rondo's, barring injury.
True. When you have Alex Caruso breathing down your neck, you don't know when that's going to turn at any moment.
Well, like, every once in a while, Rondo just finds himself out of rotations for some weird reason. And then all of a sudden, he just pops back up again, playing 34 minutes on like a random Wednesday.
Yeah, Kuzma's not getting under 30 unless this is like a 50-point game at halftime. And even then...
Or he blows his hammy out or something.
Yeah, something weird, which, knock on wood, please don't do that. What does Uncle Chubbs think about Harden on FanDuel?
What do I think about what?
Harden on FanDuel.
Oh.
James Harden. Not hardening.
I have quite a bit, I believe. Yeah, 33%.
Okay. How much Kuzma are you getting?
More than that, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 25, maybe 30% Kuzma.
We're still talking FanDuel.
He just asked in general.
43 on FanDuel, 56 on DraftKings.
Butler or CP3 we answered this one, I think, but we answered this one before lock. But Butler or CP3 on DK Cash. So I think we both chose CP3.
Yeah, CP3.
This guy Achilles asked that after 7:00 though, so I don't know why that would be locked for sure.
Turbo slates and shit.
Yeah, but the Sixers are playing right now, aren't they?
Oh, was the question about the Sixers?
Yeah, it was Butler or CP3.
Yeah. Well, then, that's not going to get you anywhere.
Maybe just wanted it for prosperity. I like answering questions for prosperity too, so you can just gauge if we're going to be right or not. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I gave somebody on the premium Slack Lillard yesterday because I didn't talk about Lillard. I didn't do a live before lock show, but I talked about him on the Four Corners, and he's like a 1.55 per minute guy when McCollum's not out there. So I had 70% Lillard yesterday, which was fantastic. He was only 10%. I hope that guy played Lillard because if he played the other guy, I would feel kind of bad that he didn't trust me enough, even though he asked.
Josh Engelman sucks compared to Fast Eddie Fear. He would get snuffed in Philly.
You might get stuffed in Philly. Yeah. Any of us may. Really,
yeah.
That's why it
has nothing to do with this show right now.
Walker stole ball from Butler. How do you feel? I think that's reasonable. I'm glad Butler had the ball in the first place.
I'm okay with it. That's a net win, or that's a net plus for me.
Who are you guys more overweight on tonight on DK, CP3 or Turner? I'm not overweight on either, in fact, but I'm with the field on CP3 and I'm
by
under
a mile.
Yeah, Turner. We talked about my risk or my concern with Turner, but I think there's real foul trouble concerns for roll miles today.
30% Paul and 13% Miles Turner. So I barely have half of the field. Nope, I don't have half of the field, potentially.
All right, and the last question, then we'll call it quits. Kuzma or Sabonis for FanDuel?
Kuzma by 100 million miles.
All right.
I'm going to pay for that one.
I support that. Kuzma, I mean, you can't take a bench guy whose minutes are insecure over Kuzma, I think. We know he's going to get something. We know he's probably going to get a lot of 3-point looks. So I think, just go with Kuzma, hope the best. If he bombs today, that sucks, but Kuzma really shouldn't bomb today. All right. That's it. Anything good here? Oh, yeah. Just the guy who said you suck and should get snuffed in Philly.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's in all caps, too.
To be fair, I don't really have many reasons to go up to Philly any longer other than to land a plane.
Well, yeah, and now that you're going to get snuffed the second you go there.
You don't want to get snuffed.
Which
was completely feasible one way or the other. People crazy there.
Virginia, they're a 1 seed. No, to be clear, I don't think they're sneaky, but I think they're being slept on. I think there's a difference between the two. They are a 1 seed, yes, but they're a better 1 seed and they had a bad ACC tournament. So I think they're interesting. All right, there we go. That's everything we needed to hit on. Use that promo code live before lock if you want to play some night slates. We are the best site in the industry at night slates. Our people behind the scenes do a fantastic job with those, and they also, quite frankly, win a lot of them. So use that promo code live before lock. This also isn't even a promo. I'm always seeing Tom, our COO, he's COO, yes, COO, always winning the night slates. He's very good at them. Eddie as well, our tech guy, not host Eddie, not fast Eddie, but our tech guy Eddie is also very good at them. Alex, of course, great at everything. Our night slate content, go check it out. Use the promo code live before lock, especially if you're mad at Kemba Walker picking up 2 fouls. And hit that like button on the way out too. Helps us out quite a bit. Chubster, anything else you want to hit on for our last solo show? I'm sure we'll have some more coming, hopefully, for baseball.
Yeah, we will. No, I don't got anything. Good luck, everybody.
All right, good luck, guys. Have a lovely evening. See you soon.
Later.